From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather at noon.
Hey folks, good afternoon. Welcome to your June 22nd edition of your live weather at noon here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Another oppressively humid and hot day out there. We're in the 80s, which, for this time of year, not bad, but dew points are in the mid 70s, so the heat index is just absolutely, like I said, oppressive, right? We're talking triple digits out there. Pretty good skies, though, here in Cherokee. Some patchy fair weather cumulus. A couple of those could get agitated, as we call it, and maybe put up a shower or thunderstorm here or there. In fact, here in Lawrenceburg, looking south and west, we do see some showers ongoing right now, but that's very typical for this time of year, right? If you've lived here for long enough, you know exactly what I'm talking about, that spotty pop-up type stuff that comes, rains its guts out, and then it's gone in 45 minutes or 60 minutes or so. That's kind of what we've got here for today, very typical in that sense. So here's that heat advisory that I was talking about. We actually have Maury County and much of the Nashville metro in it as well. So it is starting to push east a little bit as I expected, and honestly, I expect this to continue east, at least if current indications are to be believed, and perhaps extended later into the work week because we'll continue to see those very high triple-digit heat indexes. Let me show you that real quick before we take a look at the futurecast. Notice as we head in this midweek time frame, I'm suspecting around Wednesday, that's when the high pressure kind of sits itself down right on top of the Tennessee Valley. That's whenever we're going to have the most moisture in the area and the highest temperatures, probably around the mid to upper 90s in that time frame. And just like what we're seeing today, we're going to see triple-digit heat indexes, 105, 106, maybe up to 108. In fact, the Huntsville Weather Service's discussion mentioned up to 109 for today, for example, and over the next few days. So it's going to be very hot out there. Be sure to stay very hydrated. Don't overexert yourself. There's no shame in taking a break out there in conditions like this, and wear that light clothing to boot, just to have a little bit of your color schemes on your side, right? Because you want to reflect more light as opposed to absorbing more heat. All right, so let's take a look. Futurecast, next 24 hours. There are those spotty showers across the area continuing through this afternoon. Not a lot of us will see it, but some of us, if you're lucky or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, could catch one of those. We'll be mostly dry tonight. It won't feel dry, though, I'll tell you that much. We will be humid. Good skeeter weather out there, I'll tell you that much. Temperatures down in the 70s, probably lower 70s. For tonight and into tomorrow morning. Then as we head into our Monday, maybe a spotty shower here or there. Can't rule that out in the slightest. I think the more widespread stuff, that'll be off to our west as of current indications. We're talking northeast Mississippi out towards Memphis. So I think that's where the widespread stuff is. However, as development does begin in the afternoon, it wouldn't shock me to see maybe a spotty one here or there. Don't change your day plans around for your Monday. I think most of us will be just fine with these widespread mid-90s coming back in here across the area for our Monday. Again, another toasty day out there with triple-digit heat index values here. The current actual heat advisory is scheduled to expire tonight at 7 for much of us, but it wouldn't shock me to see that extended later into the week again, as I mentioned just a moment ago. Here's the extended term futurecast. Let me show you something here. Remember what I was talking about, high pressure? Here it is, kind of creeping west with time as we head through the midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think as a result, those 2 days will be relatively more dry. I don't think they'll have huge rain chances in the sense that I think most of us will stay dry. But as we head towards Thursday, Friday, Saturday, notice we start to get more moisture in here. I think some thunderstorms will be creeping in that time frame across the area. So I do think we have to kind of keep that in mind for the end of our week, perhaps the beginning of next weekend here. But I do think we have a couple of days where we have lesser chances. However, can't necessarily rule those out. I think the peak of the temperatures, though, that's going to come Wednesday as, again, that high pressure creeps on over. And we get that moisture in, kind of like gear, if you think about it that way. High pressure rotates clockwise, low pressure counterclockwise. We have low pressure way off to our west. We have high pressure to our east and on top of us. That churns the moisture into the area. So 95 degrees alongside high dew points in the upper 60s, lower 70s. Yeah, no surprise that we'll be seeing heat indexes 105 to 108 in that time frame. In fact, I'm looking at the sensor here at the station right now, and it's 102 heat index. So yeah, stay hydrated and enjoy your week, this hot summer week coming up.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.